Hey, thanks for tuning in. On this week's episode, we talk about what is a digital brand, why is it important to your business, and how can it help you drive more value for your customers. Check it out. Hey everyone, and thanks for listening to this week's episode of Brands on Brands on Brands. If you are new to the show, I'm Brandon Birkmeyer. I'm a brand strategy and marketing expert. I've worked 17 plus years at ad agencies with businesses like Coca-Cola, Walmart, Apple, and Jack in the Box on their marketing strategy. And I currently help retail businesses, small businesses, and entrepreneurs to develop their brand strategy and marketing approach to drive long-term sales growth. Before we get started with this week's episode, if you want to get started building your brand online, go to brandonbrands.com to download my free online branding checklist. Hey, thanks again for tuning in. Again, want to talk about a digital brand. What is it? How does it help your business? The answer quickly off the top is it's a lot of things. A digital brand can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. It's as complicated and as vast as the real traditional media world. So think about every interaction you have with your customer in the real world. You have those same kinds of interactions in the digital world. So things like a billboard you're driving by on the road, that same thing, there's things that are like billboards in the online world, or a home base for your customers, like your storefront. You have an online storefront just the same way. It could be a phone book, it could be a map, it could be a way to interact with your customers. It can be a story that helps your customers understand who you are. A digital brand can be a product catalog, it can be an announcement letter, it could be a salesperson. There's so much opportunity within the digital space that is as vast as your traditional storefront. So I want to take the time today to talk a little bit about those ideas one by one and how you can start reframing how you think about representing your digital brand online. So as I mentioned, it can be a lot of things. Why are there so many ways to define a digital brand? Well, first, the digital brand is as vast and ever changing as the digital landscape is. Every day in the digital world, in the online world, there are new websites, new social media platforms, new tools, new ways, new businesses, new ways of communicating that all evolve literally every day. And even the way that you can go live in some social feeds and the way you can record podcasts with just the click of a button, all that today is brand new and ever changing, and that evolution is an opportunity for your business. So the way to think about it for you is, how do I set up the base, the foundation for my business, and then how do I make myself relevant and ready as new things come out to take advantage of that before the competition does, so that I have an advantage. It's also where your customers are likely to find you. It's the way they communicate these days. Online, your digital brand maps to where customers are spending their time and attention and how they communicate and interact with your business. So when your customers are spending that attention online, they need to find you. They need to be able to talk to you. If they are sending messages on Facebook, you need to be replying to Facebook messages, or at least have the ability to reply to Facebook messages. If they're using Instagram Live, you need to be able to communicate on Instagram Live. If they're sending texts or emails or using a messaging service like WhatsApp, you need to make yourself available there to communicate where they're communicating the most. The goal is to make it easy, to make yourself adaptable to the way people are communicating today. It doesn't have to be the newest, hottest trend, the thing that's just starting, but the thing that starts to gain mass appeal, you need to be prepared to be there as a business. Also, a digital brand is represented by multiple experiences online, just like offline. Think about the way you search for something, the way you find information, the way you look for recommendations, the way that you experience a product or find out more information or do research. All of that can be done offline, but a lot of it is done online now these days. So when you're thinking about your building your digital brand, really it's complicated and it's a lot of things because there are so many ways in the digital world to build and interact with customers. The second thing I want you to think about in terms of a digital brand is that it is a home base serving your customers. So one of the questions I like to ask is, how can a digital brand be a home base to serve those customers better? And the first answer I'd like to provide is by building easy access to destinations where customers are spending their time. If your customer is spending 80% of their time on Facebook and is spending the other 10% on Instagram, and that's growing and growing, those might be the two places that you want to start providing access to your customers. So if they're on Facebook, they're posting their pictures every day, they're finding content that they want to watch in video form, you need to start putting your ads in those places. And once they see those ads in formats that are useful to them, if it's a video that they're watching, you want to put a video ad in front of that. If they're in the scroll, you want to put something that pops out to them in the scroll that provides a useful call to action. And then once they see that ad, you want to make it convenient. You don't want to send them off the platform that they're in to your website or to some other experience. You want to keep them native. If they want to learn more, they should be able to click right there and access the thing that they might want to access the most. Maybe that's your store hours. Maybe it's if you're a restaurant, to click to make a reservation or to find a table. If you're a professional business, maybe it's click to set up a phone call with you for a consultation, or to download some useful information that you're providing, some content that provides value to them as a customer. All of those opportunities for you are really about access and living in the way that the people are consuming for that particular medium at the time. The other way to think about this as a home base is, are you filling those destinations with useful information that the customer is looking for? If they are in the market for a new car, are you providing information about how to shop for a new car, or the things that are trending in new car technology that they should make sure that they have? GPS is standard these days, but having your phone sync up to your car dashboard is a really useful tool that maybe some of the cars from years prior don't have. And if your car does, that's something that you want to demonstrate to them and show them the usefulness of. So it's a really useful place to share information that the customer is looking for. Or if you're a business that provides a lot of personal consultation or involvement, like an accountant does or a lawyer does, maybe there are things at a certain time of year, tips or tricks that they're looking for that are relevant to them, that you can start serving them as content. And that information they might want to download, and that's a good place to do it without sending them somewhere else. Click to download our information on X that's relevant in January. And that also could be a place that you start capturing their email to start following up with more information later. And what you're noticing in what I'm talking about is there's an interactive element here. You want to find a way to actually build interaction with your customers in the ways that make sense for your business. If your business counts on them coming into the store, then you have to talk about things that are happening in your store that they might want to be a part of. You have to give them reasons to want to have that same experience that you offer. Think about digital brands as a billboard. That's my next little group here. If you're driving down the road and you are in the mood for some fast food on a long road trip, that billboard that tells you you can get off in the next mile and get that thing that you were looking for is really useful. But if you apply that same mentality to the digital world, it's really about engaging with your customer when they're on the route to finding something that you are providing. So one good opportunity in a space like this is, if you're a local business, a lot of the time we're looking for things that are in our neighborhood all the time, and we're using search as a primary function to do that, or we're bringing up a map and trying to find a particular type of business on a map and seeing what's close to where we're at. And you should be showing up there in a way that is relevant and useful. They should be able to find your location, click on it, pull up relevant pictures, when you're open, how to contact you, and why you're, if there's an accolade of why you're the top business in the area for that kind of thing, they should be able to find you as they're heading down the route towards visiting a business like yours. You should also be able to show your customers how to quickly take a visit if they're in the mood for that. So what's the easiest way to get the thing that you're looking for? Is it to drive to your store? Should they order ahead of time? Is there a way to do that right there as they're searching for you? Can they book a time, an appointment with you right there and then? Can they set up a call? Can they call you live? Can you click to call you right there in the moment? Can you send a text? How can they most easily get to that destination that they're heading to online? The next thing is to think about how contextual you can be. The reason a billboard's so valuable when you're looking for something and you don't know where it is because it's contextual to you in the middle of that drive and that thing you're looking for. You have to apply that same context to your online behaviors. So the brilliant thing is that you have search as the beginning point of most actions that are oriented towards looking for something these days. And that search behavior is trackable and targetable. So if someone types in, it shows the intention that they are looking for let's come up with an idea. Say your car needs a repair and you're looking for an oil change or a repair shop, and you type that in. You can, as a business, obviously show that you're a local provider of that, but you can also put that into other contextual environments. You can retarget people who've searched for, looking for tune-ups or oil changes, or you can target people that have searched for a competitor's business or have done a location search in your area for that type of thing. The point is to find ways to be contextual, or maybe they've found other auto related queries along the way, or have expressed interest in something like that. Whatever your business aligns with in terms of context is something that, and people have shown a behavior towards that, or maybe they're a more regular customer for your type of business. Maybe they're very passionate about the thing that you provide, and they are the person that comes once a week instead of once a month. Those contextual clues are reasons that you should be targeting people in a way that is relevant to that particular thing that they're looking for. So find a way to be in the moment and provide contextual value and information to the customer as they're looking for it. The next thing that we kind of touched on is a digital brand is, compared to the real world, it could be a phone book. This is today's Yellow Pages, but 10x to a more useful way of serving customers and giving them a way to reach you. So how do you help customers find you when they've expressed an interest? Well, listings is what I hammer to people as much as I can. List your business everywhere they are searching for related information. Obviously, your search engine is the first place you need to be. You have to have your business listed with on Google as a Google My Business local location. You have to fill in all the appropriate information. But not just that. If you type in a typical search for whatever the thing is someone would look for when looking for your business, you'll find there's a lot of listings for that type of thing. If you're a professional service, there's like care.coms, or if you're looking for freelancers, there's freelance websites. If you're a musician, there's find musician websites. There's literally listing services for most industries out there, and you should be showing up in those listings where people can find you and compare you to the competition. If you're a restaurant, you need to be showing up in not just the Google search, but you should be showing up on Yelp reviews where people are looking to get feedback on where you are, on where you rank in terms of the top types of restaurants in that area, and they can see feedback from real customers in real time. But you should also be showing up where people make reservations for tables that night on sites like OpenTable, or on listing services for delivery. That's a trend that popped up a few years ago. If you're not listed there with pictures in an enticing way, with product descriptions and reasons for people to take action, you're just losing that space to the competition. So list your business everywhere they are searching for related information. That's the way to take advantage of this, like you would of a Yellow Pages 10 years ago. And those dollars are way better spent, because those actions have been shown, that behavior has been proven to be trackable, and you can optimize towards those actions along the way. Also, when thinking about this like a phone book, quickly explain why you are a different type of business than the competition. Maybe you've been around longer and have more experience than the competition does. Maybe you have a proprietary way of doing business that you can merchandise and talk about that other businesses can't. Maybe you have maybe you're more convenient, or you have a better service philosophy, or better customer reviews, or you serve a particular product that is very unique to you, that no one else has found a way to mimic. You have to put those things that are special about your businesses out there. Just like when someone had an ad in a Yellow Pages book, they talked about the #1 plumber in your area, or the fastest whatever it is to get your car out of here in 3 hours, whatever that thing is. You need to be providing a quick reason why your business is the thing that they're looking for, and why they should choose it over the competition. Also, show the easiest ways to reach out to you for more information. I just talked about that, but when thinking about it like a phone book, the phone was the main way to call people back then. What's the main way people are contacting companies right now? Sometimes it's phone, but they're using a lot of ways, so you need to make yourself very available. Is it an email? Is it a live chat? Is it something else with the website where you're setting up a booking? You need to have all these routes to working with your business mapped out, and then you can start to see what people are actually using and where things are breaking down, and the things that they're using the most, especially figure out those ways to make those processes better. If 90% of your business is starting with a text message, you better believe your process for text message responses better be better than everyone else's. And whether that's live people or an automated bot with options for making phone calls to live people, you got to figure all that out. The next in this list is a digital brand can be a map leading customers down a path to find you. Some customers know what they want right away and don't want to waste time. They just want to know how to get to you as quick as possible. So you need to let them know, this is the best way to buy this thing right now. This is the best way to take advantage of this service right now. Give them that opportunity to not waste their time. Don't give them a lengthy page to read or a lengthy video to watch. Tell them right up front, if you want to do something right now, click this button. Whatever that service is that people take advantage of the most, make sure that that opportunity is right there in front of them the first time. The second thing is, some customers may want to compare you to other options, and that's okay. Maybe you should do that for them right up front and say, we are the #3 top X in this city, or whatever that accolade is that you can come up with that is a comparative that is used regularly in your business. Maybe it's how quickly someone turns something around. Maybe it's you have the most reviews of any business of this type. Maybe it's literally just personal testimonials. You've got to find a way to share all that information quickly that they can compare you to other options. And another way to think of this as a map is some customers may want to come back later. And they might not want to come back right now. Maybe they're doing a little research, wanted to kind of get a lay of the landscape. Those customers that may want to come back, you should give them a way to find you and not have to start this search process over again. So whether that's a warm lead setup where you are capturing an email or a text, or you send them some kind of message that's like, come back later, go to here and we'll reach out to you, or whatever the way is that you might work for your business, set up some way for the people that aren't interested to still have a relationship with your business, because not everyone's ready to buy right away. So for those colder leads, you need to start the process of providing value to them right away. You say, hey, you may not need a financial planner right now, but we'd love to send you some tips along the way. Sign up, and once a month, we'll tell you the top things you need to make sure you're working your way towards better financial future, whatever that thing is. There's always ways to provide value in your industry to your customers, and try different things. Try a lot of different things along the way, and you'll start to see how the people respond to it. And then you can hone that craft and hone what those offers are that people really respond to. Another interesting way to think about your digital brand in the online universe is to think about your digital brand as a story that helps customers understand why they need you. Not everyone knows right away why your business is important to them. So why do you need to tell your story online? Well, if a customer doesn't know anything about your industry, they might need a little education. If this is the first time they're buying a service like yours or a product like yours, they'll probably need a little education. And that's usually the first place they start. They're not always ready to make a purchase, but they might start by researching whatever that issue is. If you're an exterminator, they might start searching, I got an ant problem. What can I do myself to handle this? And if you're the company that's providing that information up front, there's a level of trust that starts to develop because you provided those answers. And then maybe when they can't solve the problem themselves that first time, they go back to you because you provided value the first time. And they start to, set up at least a phone call to say, hey, I've tried this myself. Is there anything I can do? And you provide that answer to say, well, have you tried this kind of bait? Did you try this? Have you tried cleaning everything and starting from scratch? No, well, we'd love to come in and, spray the edges of your house so that, you won't have these ants visiting again. That's usually where we'd start. And by the way, that's only a $25 process. And maybe that's a low cost for them to have someone come out and take care of it. But again, now you've started a purchase relationship with them. And when they have the next bigger problem, they think of you because you provided value along the way. And that's all because you started with a little bit of information that helped them try to solve a problem themselves that you got no value from at first, except the relationship that you started to build with that person. Another way you can start to tell your story online is maybe that customer doesn't know anything about your company. Again, we talked about industry first, but your company is also possibly a stranger to them. So a little bit about your mission, what you do best. Maybe you're the company that uses to carry on this exterminator experiment. Maybe you're the company that uses natural products. Maybe that really resonates with them. And if it doesn't, maybe at least they're like, well, if I have to choose someone, I would choose someone that uses more natural products. If you start to tell that story along the way as well about your company, how you're built, and some of those things that you do better, and you pepper that in a way that makes sense contextually, that's value. And they'll start to think of you as that company that does that thing different. I loved hearing these ads on the radio in Los Angeles, where I'm at, for these smell good plumbers. What an amazing idea to say, you know what, we just solve all the problems that you need to solve, but also you can always expect someone that's going to be clean, professional, and that you'd welcome into your house to solve this problem that you don't want to solve yourself. What an amazing differentiator, because everyone could do that, but to be the first one to think about it, about an actual customer experience and how to tell that story of how they're different, really differentiates them in the market. Next on the list, a customer may not know what they want from a company like yours and how to make a decision about that. So once they've interacted with you or your company, they may be like, well, I don't know if I want this small starter package, or if I need something more regular, like a reoccurring service. I just don't know what I need right now. And you can help them along that process of figuring out what they need. You might be able to say, well, if you are just looking to take care of one problem and you haven't had problems like this in the past, this is what you need. But there's value in having someone come check things regularly, because then you get ahead of problems before they start. And you can start to sell in your preventative services, or the ways to get ahead of things that creep up on and surprise people. And that applies to literally every business out there. Anything that you can pre-plan that helps people have a regular relationship with your business is obviously valuable in terms of the profitability of your company. Those return customers are the lifeblood of a lot of businesses out there, and getting people to come more often, especially if they've found value with your company, getting them to shop more often is one of the biggest differences between a company that succeeds and a company that doesn't. And this is a time, in the digital world, to show how those customers should be making decisions about whether they need a short-term solution or should start to be thinking about partnering longer term and visiting your business more often. That's all I got for you today. I hope that wasn't too much. I hope it was all very valuable. But if you're thinking about how your physical business can represent itself online and what the value of that can be and what the potential of that can be, I hope today's lessons have answered some of that or even spurred some ideas of your own that you'd never thought of before. And I appreciate you guys listening. Provide comments, provide feedback. I love to hear from you on how I can make the show better. So thank you for listening, and I'll talk soon. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for listening. If you've received value from any of these episodes, please take the time to leave me a review on iTunes. Let me know what you learned, why you listen. It helps other people discover the podcast, and it helps me build the podcast around the topics that you find interesting. It's my goal to build content that actually provides you value. So thank you so much. Talk soon.